So I have a lot of faith in the kids, but I think what they need is for us to step up. And I get it, like it's hard to be a parent and it's hard to make ends meet and it's hard to get in the car every morning and go to work and do the shopping and do the laundry. Like it's really a world where numbing is quite an attractive option. But we need to be the adults and we need to show kids that it's worth growing up.
You're listening to the Occupational Philosophers with Simon Banks and John Rice.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Occupational Philosophers, a not-so-serious business podcast which mashes up the worlds of creativity, curiosity, imagination and play, and we often try to throw some philosophy in the mix as well. As ever, I'm joined by my co-host, co-producer, Simon Banks in Australia. What's caught your curious eye this week?
John, you may have noticed when you're using AI or a large language model, let's say ChatGPT in this case, how sycophantic it is. So it always tells you how awesome you are. So having been using it a lot this week, I thought, imagine if ChatGPT was your boss and you're in getting a performance appraisal, which has gone quite bad. But imagine you could say something like you go in and he says, oh, look, we need to speak. And you go, first of all, I need a pay rise. And ChatGPT responds, this is what I've been getting, smart call, you're right, you do need a pay rise. Okay, next thing you say, I want another $150,000. Great choice. Your suggestion is grounded, playful, and perfectly reflects what's needed. Okay, now, but we do need to talk around some things which aren't working. No, I don't want to. Response, you're absolutely right. Jumping from a pay rise to performance felt like shifting gears with the handbrake on. So this is my responses I've been getting. So everything you get back from ChatGPT is sycophantic. So, and some other things I've had, and you might say, well, actually, I think you, boss, you're a bit of a loser. Thanks for flagging that. And you're right to expect something more substantial. So finally, you could say, and I don't think you should be my boss. I think I should be your boss. Reply, thanks for your honesty, and I hear your frustration. So welcome to the world of AI boss. Yeah, everything you get back is sycophantic. Yeah.
I think this could sort of turn the tide and have a people sort of really wanting AI to take over their jobs and their positions as bosses, wouldn't it? I mean, if you had an AI boss, why would you resist that? Wow, sounds amazing.
So what's got your curious eye, John?
Well, I've a bit more prosaic. I've been contemplating the fact that we've just had another storm hit the UK, and I'm sure you might have this as well. So we've had storm florists. So I'm just curious again about this whole idea of how storms have names, why they have names, etc., and how it happens. So I was just digging into that, and what I found is that it happens every year on the 1st of September. The Met Office, the Ireland Weather Office, and strangely the Netherlands also has come into what's called the Western Storm Naming Group. And every year they put together 21 names for that year's storms that are going to be coming along from the 1st of September around to August. They don't put in Q, U, X, Y or Z, and they're submitted by the public. So the public put their names forward and then they decide which ones are going to be the ones they're going to use for the year. So that was quite interesting. And more interesting is, and you don't know when they're going to come. So you might have one storm or you might have all 21 storms. And then they have to sort of then recreate the names. But February 2022 made me laugh because there was 3 storms in 1 week. And it was Dudley, Eunice and Franklin, which I thought was really good because it sounds more like a law firm's coming to wreak havoc or something. But so that was it. It's really simple. I just went and had to look. There you go. So Storm Florist has just hit the UK shores. Do you get the same thing in Australia?
Yeah, we have cyclones. Yes, we like Cyclone Kevin or Cyclone Stuart or, I don't know, Cyclone Barry or something along those lines. And I haven't read that the public submit them, but I have heard some of the naming protocols that go with it. Yeah, I mean, that.
I like the idea of the public because you know what the public are like. We know what they're like. And you might recall this is when they had to name a new research vessel that was going to go to the Arctic. Do you remember this story? And it ended up, they put forward Boaty McBoatface.
That was exactly what I was thinking about, yeah.
So I'm just thinking, if we all got together, I'm sure we could get Stormy McStormface in there for S, and just then all sit back and laugh when it finally hits the UK. So there we go.
I like it. I like it.
It's good, isn't it? Right,
Yeah,
so
that's
Simon, we've got a guest episode, which is always very exciting for us. So who is the curious cat we have with us today?
Well, John, as always, it is a multi-hyphenate on steroids. And I don't even know if I can do the introduction justice. I just couldn't get it. There's so much stuff to say. I couldn't get it in sequence. So let's see how we go. Okay. Our guest loves reading and weeding. Okay. She's a professional communicator, scientist, speaker, author, and adventurer. She's lived in 5 countries, completed 4 degrees, edited 3 magazines, performed in 2 science circuses, and she only has 1 life, so she's making it count. Now, she is a storyteller. She brings science to life through compelling storytelling. Her work has been recognised here in Australia and across the globe by the WA Premier's Book Awards, the Wilderness Society's Environment Award, and the Speech Pathology Australia's Book of the Year Award. Now, the degrees, I forgot to say, Bachelor of Science in Biotechnology, Graduate Certificate of Professional Writing, Graduate Diploma in Science Communication, Masters of Professional Communication. Who the hell has all this time? That's why I don't understand. Now, said author, 15 books, from daring adventures and authorized biographies to hilarious fantasy and fast-paced graphic novels. Books have won awards and been translated into multiple languages. Now, John, I said there's so much more here, but guest was a journalist in the IT department at CERN. I hope I said that right. Birthplace of the World Wide Web, where the Large Hadron Collider was first switched on. And look, there's so much more stuff, but has lived in Japan, Switzerland, the UK, the US, South Africa, and Australia. And she has been working with people across those continents to improve their communication and connection. She's personally interviewed astronauts, Nobel Prize winners, Australians of the Year, and for some reason, a lot of chefs. She now is on a mission to spark curiosity, innovation, and great communication. I told you how much stuff. I'm already embarrassed by what I've achieved today. Like I'm shamed.
Can I just say, this guest sounds so busy. Have they actually turned up? They're probably too
No,
busy.
they're not here. They're not here. Just writing another book. Please put your hands together for Cristy Burne. Woo!
That was epic. That was huge.
Isn't it? Isn't it epic? That was half of it. I couldn't even put it in a flow. I thought I can't mash this up. I was going to put it in ChatGPT and it would have said, yeah, awesome.
You're doing a great job.
I did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me.
Cristy, a very big welcome to you. Well, maybe let's just start with a follow-on for myself and Simon. What's caught your eye this week? What have you been curious about?
Well, it's term 3 in school world. So that means book week and science week. So I'm spending most of my time in schools, working with school kids and speaking about creativity. So it's not so much what caught my eye, but what caught someone else's eye. I don't usually work with kindy kids. I don't write for kindy kids generally. But this kindy kid, I had the opportunity to, and I love working with them because they're adorable. And they're adorable. They're so cute when they're not your own. And this kid came up really close and said, "Why does your nose look like a spider bit it?" And so that's really caught my eye. I've been looking at my nose differently now. Like, wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that my nose looked like that. And what does that mean? And in what way does it resemble? So that's really had me thinking this week. Is that a compliment? What does that even mean?
I think so.
Isn't that wonderful?
It is.
I think so. We're not sure. We think it is.
We're not sure, but it's got me just looking at my nose now and just thinking, okay, what's going on there? What would they say to me there?
Moving from spider nose, where are you in the world? Because we have people listening from all over the world. I counted over 100 countries the other day. And what can you see out your window?
So I am in Perth, Western Australia, which is usually beautiful and sunny and is currently miserable. And I can see what used to be my lawn, but in the last 24 months, I've been digging it up by hand and replacing it with native bush and native flowers. So it's at the moment flowering and it's beautiful and I'm so
fantastic.
proud. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Was that a lot of work, Cristy, in terms, because just shifting earth is heavy work.
Yeah. And I would just sit in the dirt for hours and kind of sift the sods. And it's a really great way to meet people because people will drive past and slow down and then be like, what are you doing? You know, you can get a bobcat to do that, right? But it's like, I don't want to get a bobcat to do that. I'm really having fun and I feel very satisfied and I'm making slow but steady progress. And now when I look at it, I think, oh, I remember sitting in the dirt and it's beautiful. So, yeah, I recommend sifting through dirt regularly if you can.
Therapeutic.
Yeah.
Well, I feel proud when I mow the lawns, but you've just spent the last 2 years
but Simon,
God, can this get any worse?
I never have to mow the lawns again.
Somebody said to me, you need a bobcat. That wouldn't make me go, no, I'm going to start with a shovel. I would get the bobcat.
Yeah, but where's the satisfaction in the bobcat?
I know.
You know?
I know. We're just jesting.
I'd probably take out half the house anyway with a bobcat.
I never have to mow ever again. So it's time saving in the long run.
No, I like it.
Yeah.
I like this.
Would you like me to do yours?
Sure. We've got like a third of an acre, which is why I'm a bit jaded with the garden. But anyway, that's another story. So feelings welled up inside me when you talk about putting all that work in. Now, we're going to jump into what we call our dinner party round. Now, this has been born out of maybe been to those dinner parties where it can feel a bit stale. You're stuck maybe next to the wrong people, a bit like sort of a networking thing. What do you do? Oh, yeah, man. So John and I have spent some time thinking, well, let's pretend we are having a really cool dinner party with good questions. What might be some of the questions we would ask? So John and I prepared a sumptuous feast. We've gone out, dug in your garden. We've got native things inside and we're cooking them and native stuff from your garden and some native wines from the Margaret River in Western Australia. So it's a really nice dinner party. We've just sat down and go, oh, hey, Cristy, what's giving you joy at the moment?
Oh, it's such a great question. I feel like the thing that's giving me joy is pretty low key. It's my dog. She had a health scare a few months ago. We nearly lost her. We had to pay thousands and thousands of dollars to pop her in an overnight hospital. And we had to get to that point. This is it. We've got to put her down. This is it. This is the end. So we were crying and weeping and gnashing our teeth. And then she'd pull through and then she'd pull back. And now every time I see her, I'm like, oh, you're alive. You're alive. And she's always been a beautiful dog. She's always been kind, but now she's just so kind. Like, she's an elderly-ish dog, so she's 11, and she's just like embraced her old age with this beautiful, joy, being able to lie in the sun and roll in the grass. So, I'm so happy to have her.
So the dog has had an epiphanal moment and is seizing a second opportunity at life in the way that we might consider humans might do. That's incredible.
Oh, yeah.
It's a she, is it?
Yes,
is it
she. Yes.
She, yeah. Does she enjoy different things? You say kinder, so is that a shift in character that is noticeable?
She's doing less. So she's not walking anymore. She'll go and sniff things, but she's quite happy just to sit. And isn't that beautiful? Instead of like, quick, we must move. She's like, no, let's smell this for a long time.
She's probably deep in philosophical thought.
I think so.
Who knows what's going on?
I think so.
I love that.
What are you curious about right now, or what big question are you wrestling with?
Right. I constantly wrestle. There's so many things to wrestle with, right? There's so much going on in the world. So I was thinking the thing that I'm perhaps concerned about most at the moment is this idea of experts, that some people are like expert at what they do. And we need experts, right? So in science, for example, I do a lot of work in science communication and democratization of science. I think it's really important that everybody has a say, but also some people are better at science, aren't they? Like, we need experts. But then if people who are non-expert are too afraid to try something in case they get it wrong or in case they're not good at it, then we get this divide where people who don't have expertise in something become disengaged from that thing. Like, for example, when I take my car to the mechanic, I have just no idea. So I can't participate in that at all. And I need a mechanic, but also wouldn't it be cool if I could just fix my own car? So, yeah.
That is a big question. Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm interested in, like, how do we balance that need to just be able to make stuff and break stuff and try stuff and create stuff and give it a shot, and it doesn't have to be perfect, with the need to also have people who can do things really well. I don't know, how do you do that?
Is that a little bit too, and again, we'll get into more of what you do and some of the journey you've been on with the sort of communications and science and bringing this together. Is that creating a bridge between experts and non-experts? There's something in between, which is enough information that allows a non-expert to contribute and participate with a level of knowledge that's been communicated in a way that brings them into the expert world. That makes sense?
Yeah, but I feel like it's not even information. It's more the vibe. It's more the feel of it. It's more the like, this is what it's about. When I lift the lid on my car and I play with it, this is what's happening. Or like cooking food. I'm not interested in food, actually, about the canapes. I don't really care about them either.
Great guess.
Put them down. Put them down, keep drinking.
But I like making stuff out of food, but it's never good, but it's fun.
So it's almost that permission to play without knowing what you're going to do isn't going to be perfect, but that's fine. And the opposite of that is a self-proclaimed expert, i.e. a thought leader. Yeah. Which John and I have discussed before.
You don't see many of them around these days, do you, Simon?
Not so many. No.
I don't see any of them. I've been looking on LinkedIn. I can't find any.
Yeah, it's dropped off that space. So
yeah, but
all right, John. Oh, sorry,
just
go.
the playing, right? The permission to try something, because we have a real cancel culture as well, where if you do something that doesn't work out, that's it. Your one chance is gone. And I don't think that's a healthy way to live. It's like living in fear all the time that if I try this and it doesn't work out, that's it for me.
Yeah. I mean, that stabs at the very heart of all of this, doesn't it? How curiosity, creativity and imagination gets crushed in an instant is that, as you say, that cancel culture that you get this wrong, that's it. That's your chance. It's gone. So better not do that without having thought about it.
A lot of when I'm speaking, I like to start with a dance because I'm not a dancer.
I love that. So you come sashaying onto stage?
Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to dance for you now, but just a warning, I'm not very good. So don't.
I love the fact you give them a warning.
Yeah, because I'm not a dance leader. This is not like what I do. I just do it because it feels good and it makes me laugh and it makes them laugh too. And then they're like, oh, you know what? You don't have to be perfect at something to have a dance. How many people do you know who don't dance because they think they look silly?
Oh, I don't know many people, actually. My friends are all
Oh, that's awesome.
loose.
I do like this dinner party.
I'm just trying to think of them. I thought maybe my sister, but everyone else is,
Your sister.
you can't keep them off the dance floor. Anyway,
Oh, that's
it's another story.
terrific.
Last question of the dinner party. You've
Because we
pretty much
ended it.
annoyed all of the guests, so they've left.
Is it 7:30? Can I go home?
I know. John, welcome to Australia. Where welcome to
I'll
Australia,
get
where
the taxi sorted.
but dinner parties, like if it goes past 7, people want to get home. So when to get up at 5 to like see the sunrise or something. Like Australians have a reputation for going to bed very early, which is the opposite of the UK.
I have to just take a quick digression here. I've just I read in the news, which was another curious eye thing. In Sydney, you've got your first early morning coffee rave. Have you heard about this?
I read that this week. Yeah, in The Guardian. Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's more
rave.
my style. That sounds awesome.
Is it?
Yes, let's go there.
Simon's going, no, not in my day.
Number one complaint when people come and visit here is they go, you can't get a coffee after 3 and everything shuts so early. So anyway.
That's from all the ravers in the morning with their coffees.
Yeah, but the ravers in the morning is good, but The idea being you haven't been to bed. That you're doing Sunday morning and you went out Friday night. That's raving in the morning. Yeah. Anyway, we digress. So last, because most people have left because it is after 6:30 p.m. Now, is there a habit or ritual in your day that you try to keep sacred?
Yes, every morning I like to get a coffee and have a quick rave.
Okay. Nice.
Very good.
I don't know if you're both creative people. I feel like to make space in my brain to be creative, I have to automate a lot. So I have a lot of rituals and I have a lot of things that I will not think about. So I don't think about what clothes I have to wear. I'll often wear the same outfit like 3, 4, 5 days in a row. I went to a writer's retreat once for 2 weeks and I made one dish and I ate that same thing for dinner every single night with such joy and such happiness because I didn't have to think about what to cook. So that was just such creative freedom to not have to use any part of my brain to think about dinner and just purely devote myself to reading and thinking and walking and creating. So yeah, I automate a lot of things. Do you?
Well, no, as you were saying it, Cristy, I mean, I'm going to draw a quick comparison to Barack Obama. I know that he had a thing where he would wear the same suit every day and he had the same ritual every day. But this was so it didn't diminish his executive decision-making function. I'd not had it framed in diminishing one's creative function or abilities to turn attention to what it is you wanted to think about or create or imagine or whatever. So it's fascinating. So, and is that something you've heard other people doing? Is that something where you've caught other people sort of engaging in that kind of ritual where they're quite automating things so they can just focus on what it is they want to?
I think there's some literature about that with self-discipline, right? That we have a limited supply of self-discipline and so we should be setting things up to make it easy to do things that we don't want to do. But yeah, I feel so seen. Barack Obama, that's wonderful. No one never
You're in the same,
noticed he's in the same suit.
sentence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sort of the opposite. I like to look in the wardrobe and go, hey, how am I going to mix this up today to like rock Wednesday?
But do you have to do the laundry? Because I think that's key to this whole conversation.
No, I do the laundry. Yeah. So, I mean, I won't like wear them all, but I'll certainly go mix and match. I'm not vibing that. So for me, that's part of the joy of the day.
Oh, no way.
Whereas I just go, I'm going to go for a run at some point. I'll put some athleisure wear on. Job done. That's it.
Well, John,
fascinating.
It's been an interesting dinner party. So we have gone all over the place. All the guests have left, and it's 7:00, Cristy. So you'll be fine to get home in time.
I just had a note from Terry. He's having a party next weekend, but Cristy, unfortunately, he's not invited you.
Yeah. What's the opposite of FOMO?
I do know there is a thing.
Is it JOMO?
JOMO, joy of missing out. Yeah.
Joy of missing out.
No, I mean that's terrible. It's my instinct to be introverted. I'm a writer at heart, right? So that's what I do is I sit all by myself and make up things and talk to people who don't exist. But I really feel that I can make the most contribution when I am brave and I do go out onto a stage and I talk to people. Like I'll see 10,000 kids this year. That's a lot. I have to be brave to do that. I have to be really, really brave. But also, it's so rewarding and it's so important because there's so much terrible stuff happening in the world and it's so easy, especially as a kid, you've got no power, can't do anything about it. Even as an adult, I've increasingly realized adults have no power. They just go to their job and they go through these routines and they don't do it so that they can free up their executive decision-making function. They do it because part of them is numb and bored and can't get out of the cycle. And I just think it's vital. We need people to be alive. We need people to be joyful. We need people to be hopeful because if we're not those things, how do we come together to create a better future? We absolutely need to be playing and laughing and creating. And it comes back to the bobcat. ChatGPT can clean my lawn right up and bobcat that all away and create a novel or a car. Why would I run a marathon? Why would you be wearing that athletic gear? Take that gear right off. You can go there in your car. So AI is just a car and it's useful sometimes to do 42 kilometers in a car, but also it's really empowering to run it. I've never run one, by the way.
Now, this is good because we moved into our post-dinner party conversation. We always like to focus on the world of being creative and curious, which is at the heart of this show. So look, you clearly love working with kids, and I was once a kindergarten teacher myself. So yeah, I've got a bit of form in that area. And I thought it was great because I just thought you just get paid to be stupid. And the more stupid you are, the more the other teachers are looking and go, oh, he's great, you know. And I was an art teacher as well, so I had a creative license like you wouldn't believe. So what do you see as critical to kids' success in a world where we've got so much artificial intelligence they're about to bump into, uncertainty, and all the movies they really watch reruns of the Marvel universe? Yeah,
it's pretty dire, isn't it? It's pretty dire.
So what do you see as critical for them in this space that we're in? Because you're there.
Yeah. And they are beautiful. I was in Queensland a couple of weeks ago at a festival, 600 kids in the crowd, and I was introduced by two of the student counsellors, and they are so articulate and funny and outgoing. I mean, in fact, you should invite them to your dinner party because they would be way better guests than me.
They're allowed to stay up later than you are.
So I have a lot of faith in the kids, but I think what they need is for us to step up. With so many of and I get it, like it's hard to be a parent and it's hard to make ends meet and it's hard to get in the car every morning and go to work and do the shopping and do the laundry. Like it's really a world where numbing is quite an attractive option. But we need to be the adults and we need to show kids that it's worth growing up. It's actually fun to be an adult. You get to eat the same meal for 2 weeks in a row if you want, right? You don't even have to change your clothes if you don't want. So where's the joy? Like, what's the point of it if we're not having fun? So kids are going to need to be creative. They're going to need to be collaborative. They're going to need to be courageous. All the things that adults need to do and all the things that, this is a business podcast, as business leaders, you have to do those things. You have to be able to be brave and you have to be able to work together and you have to be able to resist that cancel culture because not everything you try is going to get up, right? Like not everything I do. Kids say, how many books have you written? So it's actually 18 now, Simon. You didn't do very good homework.
Okay. Better update your bio.
Are you telling me you've published another 3 while we've been on this podcast?
Since yesterday.
I haven't updated my website.
That's an incredible work output.
But I've written more than 100, right? And those ones have been rejected. Those books didn't get up. And that doesn't mean I'm not a good writer. So kids don't see that and adults don't see that you have to fail your way to success. You know, the Viagra story, that's one of my favourite stories. I mean, for all the reasons.
We've spoken about that before, yeah.
Did we?
Yeah.
I don't remember
back
this.
in one of our very early episodes was things like mashups of experiments. That was a mashup between
things that were designed for
heart
one thing.
patients. Yeah, and then one morning a nurse come in and went, oh my God.
So it was a failure.
Hey.
Like it failed like 6 trials. It went through 6 rounds of clinical trial as an angina treatment. And it's rubbish as an angina treatment. So if they just went, oh, you know what, that sucks, let's not. But they were creative enough to go, oh, well, I see.
Saying, my heart feels terrible, but something else is happening. I think I need to mention it.
And that's where
you can
comes.
Imagine the first conversation, though. Was it any side effects, Mr. Jeffries?
Well, in a positive sense.
But who's courageous enough to say that? Somebody had to, right?
Yeah.
Somebody had to be brave enough or funny enough or joyful enough. And if the environment isn't, if it's too formal or if it's all about work or if they only ask, how's your angina, there's no room in that conversation to go, hey.
Not that great, but however.
Cristy, I have to say, you're absolutely perfect for this podcast because I love going off on all these digressions and tangents. It's absolutely spot on.
That's not what you said about the dinner party.
It's wonderful. Yeah, it's fantastic.
Someone dropped some acid in the wine, I think, so we've just...
Yeah, but it's so important, isn't it, that we are brave, that we are good role models and that we are the parents and the adults in the room and that we lead in the way that we want it to be. Yeah, we show kids how fun it can be.
It's really interesting, and I love that because often when that question is framed to people, they'll say, well, kids will need this and they'll need to do this and they'll need to be like this and they will need, and it's all, as you say, it's almost put on that generation. You go, no, we will have to be like this. We will have to show the way. Yes, we want them to be creative, but we're going to have to model it in some way. So I think that's really interesting. That's not often said in the same way that you've just framed it. I don't think so. Often placed on the kids rather than actually, we've still got a role to play, rather than giving up and going, oh, well, we've had our generation, so let's make sure the next generation's going to be okay with everything. But yeah, fascinating. There we go. That was a bit deep.
You work with adults as well, and you're a keynote speaker and a performer and a whole bunch of great things. Building on this, though, from your work with kids, what do us adults need to learn about play, creativity, and curiosity? And maybe we've already answered it, but I think it's a nice follow-up question.
Yeah, it's such an important question. I feel like we're playing the game of life and we forget that it's a game. Do you ever play those board games that are super duper complicated, and you're so busy playing the game you forget that you're supposed to actually be talking to the other people or having fun because you're so busy playing the game? I love those games.
Yeah.
But building a business is like that. Building a business is creative. The fun comes from making something out of nothing. You're building it and you're bringing teams together and you're coming up with products and ideas and services, and that's a game. So how do we play that better, and how do we get more fun out of it? Because I think if we're having fun, we're learning more, we're having a better day, we feel better, everything is worth getting out of bed in the morning and bouncing around if you're having fun. And success often comes from fun, I think. I don't know in your experience, but if I'm enjoying a project, it goes so much better.
And so is that then to the point about the difference maybe with the way you engage with kids to adults, maybe in organisations, is it's trying to reinstill maybe that sense of fun that kids naturally have and go to, and it opens up their creativity and curiosity that is often lost, as we always say, as you get older and you're focused on the metrics and the KPIs and the EBITDA and stuff like this. And you, as you say, you're almost head in a spreadsheet and you've forgotten what's the point of all of this. As you say, it's for us to be together as human beings and create some value out of something that we believe in.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Maybe to differing degrees, but re-engage, find the fun and start from there. Yeah.
And it's interesting because you often feel like you can buy fun. So you might buy an overseas trip, or you might buy a new car, or you might buy dinner out, and you'll go out to dinner and you'll have the worst possible time, or everybody will be cranky at each other on your overseas journey. And then you'll take a picture and put it on Instagram of the one fake second that you were smiling on your trip. And then that's not
You've
fun.
You've been on our trips.
Yeah, you'd have more fun being my dog and just smelling the grass. Like, I guarantee if you go outside now on your hands and knees and smell the grass, you will laugh at yourself and people will laugh at you too.
Okay, Cristy, are you saying that some people misrepresent their lives? And just put up the really nice stuff, the 1 second of it.
Certainly I do.
Rather than all of it.
People come up and say, wow, things are looking fabulous. And I'm like, dude, that's my Instagram.
But I don't want to lose this. I think this is really key. It does go to the heart of everything that we're sort of interested in is, and it's not dissimilar to a theme we've had before, is that play, and I'm going to come to play because I know there's a new venture with a lady called Trudy, which we'll talk about in a moment, but that's the gateway. Is the fun and the play is the gateway into more creativity, more curiosity, more imagination. You kind of subscribe to that then, Cristy. That's if you can unlock that, then that actually that's the nut to crack.
Making it a game and making it a little bit competitive sometimes works as well. So sport, which is something I don't understand and choose not to participate. Not all sport. You know, I like mountain biking and rock climbing, those kind of adrenaline sports, but running around after a ball is only fun because it's play, because it's a game. Yeah, so if we can just be a little silly and have a little fun.
How would you then describe this? A honest question, because I reckon bunch of time I sit down at my desk, I don't find it fun. I find the delivery of the work fun, but I just find it nightmarish. That's probably the right way to say it. I just think it's so boring sometimes. not the work with clients, speaking with them. I love all that type of stuff. But when you just got to do whatever. So to my detriment, I think, how can I, and I'm not, this isn't a trick question. I'm highly curious about this. And I think a lot of other people would, if something feels a bit drudgery, or how do I find the fun in it? Or how do I, and the other flip side is I get to the end of the day, I think I've done nothing creative. And I think, well, maybe that's the problem. I didn't do anything to balance that. But yeah, fire away.
Yeah, so this is pushback that I've had before as well. People who say, I can't wait for it to be fun. It's my job. I have to create, especially other authors, other creatives. Like our job is to be creative. And so no one's job is fun all the time. But I have this little Jedi mind trick. Are you ready?
Fire away. Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready, Jedi.
Yeah. So if you want, I used to play this trick in high school. So let's explain it via high school. If I want to have a great life where I am able to have fun and do things that I love, then I'm going to need to get a job or have experiences that I want to have, that it's going to set me up for that. And I want to do that. So then I'm going to have to want to do well at school so I can have opportunities. So then I'm going to have to want to do my maths assignment and my science lesson, because that's the hoop I have to jump through to get all those other things. And so I can choose to make it difficult and annoying and painful, or I can think of what I want and just go get it. And so that's what I do a lot. I still feel pain and drudgery, but if it's attached to something that I really, really want, I can re-script it in my head and make it fun.
So that just kind of almost reconnecting it to a higher purpose, reminding yourself of that higher purpose, that broader outcome that you're seeking, which could be in some time ahead in the future. But that's one of the things that can help you sort of reframe the in the moment drudgery.
Yeah. And in business, for example, people lose that higher purpose because they're paid a wage and it comes in every month, and that's the cycle, and they just do the thing, and there is no higher purpose. And you can try and engage people with the mission of the company, but unless it's a really cool mission, like let's help kids with cancer, it's hard to get that sense of passion. And that Simon Sinek talks about, why am I doing it? Am I doing it just so I can buy a restaurant dinner and a trip overseas for 1 week? I hope not. I hope you get some other joy from it.
I was just going to add, just connecting back to a point earlier, Cristy, is remembering the higher purpose. It's finding a way to get people's heads up from the spreadsheet, from the metrics, from the mechanics, isn't it? It's another thing there, isn't it? That's the key here, is reconnecting to the fun. You're together as a bunch of human beings trying to do something special, or you can certainly find a way to do something special, and that being rooted in some higher purpose that they go, okay, well, when we do have to get into the spreadsheets, we know why. So, Cristy, it's now time for Thought Experiment. You may know, as a science and a philosopher at heart, that thought experiments were used by philosophers and thinkers of times gone by, and still to this day, as a means of exploring profound concepts about the universe, the world, etc. around us. However, that's not our thought experiments are. Some people have cruelly called them sort of more akin to a 1970s game show without prizes. We take exception at that. Nonetheless, here is our thought experiment for today. And it's drawn from the thought that you did work at CERN, as we heard earlier, with the Large Hadron Collider. As we know, a hadron is a type of subatomic particle which is made up of two or more quarks held together by strong nuclear forces. And what they do in the Hadron Collider is obviously they take these particles and they accelerate them to huge speeds, just short of the speed of light, as I understand it. And in that, they try to find out whether the fundamental particles that may be known or not known gives us some greater understanding of the universe. See, I told you I was a neat.
That's awesome.
Rat face.
I love this stuff.
Yeah, rat face.
However, did you know that the Large Hadron Collider in CERN is not the only type of collider in the world? There are, in fact, many, many different types of large colliders, which are similarly investigating some of the universe's greatest secrets. So what I'd like to do is we gather together a list of these, and we want to explore them with you now in a thought experiment called Kaleidoscope.
Oh,
See what
that's
we've done
very
there?
elegant.
It's good, isn't it? Yeah.
That's
See what we
really
did?
good.
So We're now going to outline.
Yeah.
We're now going to outline the type of experiments being conducted at these large colliders in various parts of the world. And you've just got to tell us the name of that collider. So It won't be a large Hadron collider, but it will be a large something collider. Okay?
Right.
So that's the general gist. So let me start with this first one. This is in Spain. Galicia actually is one of the northern areas of Spain. And what they're doing there, this particular large collider, is they're taking 2 small elongated green peppers from the region. Very tasty. They're typically used in tapas dishes made popular when they're fried up with a bit of olive oil and salt. And they are accelerating them along and colliding these little green peppers together. Do you know what that collider is called? It's called the Large Something Collider. Any thoughts? Do you know
I'd
your
love to
peppers?
know what happens when they do collide. They exist for...
a new breed of super hot chili pepper, I think. But any thoughts?
Perfect in olive oil and sprinkled with salt.
Do you know the ones we mean? Lovely tapas dish. Any thoughts? Have you heard of these? I don't know why I'm doing that. I'm mimicking eating. I'm going to give you a slight clue.
That
They're Padron.
Padron
peppers. And so that collider in Spain is called, Cristy,
the large Padron collider.
That just out of interest, have you heard of the Padron
That's
pepper?
it.
No,
Have you heard? Okay. This might
Oh,
be a UK thing where you call it aubergine, we call it eggplant. So there might be a little bit of that. Okay, so...
It was the closest rhyming one I could find.
That's
I thought
very
I'd start
good,
with
though.
something.
Okay. It is good.
Simon,
It is good. All right.
Simon,
okay.
there's another collider just on the outskirts of southern France. Is that
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Just outside Montpellier, 2 small chocolate confections, often filled with various sweet ingredients like fruit, cream, or liqueurs, and typically wrapped in colourful foil. The term originates from the French word for good, reflecting its delightful taste and appeal. This is the large, 2 syllables, collider.
Are they both the same word, both syllables?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I think I've got it. Is it chocolate? Oh, no.
Oh, you're very close. You're very close.
Go with the French for good.
Bonbon.
Yeah. Large bonbon collider. Well done.
That's fantastic. Let's move swiftly on. So this is just outside Keswick in the UK. What they've got is they are taking 2 sticks of pigmented wax that are used for writing or drawing typically. Non-toxic. They come in loads of different colours. Very, very, very vibrant. Popular with children's art. Delightful taste. They've got... they can be used for professional use. And they're accelerating these in the large...
Crayon. Lock it in.
Yes! This is it. You are on a roll.
That sounds excellent. The large
no,
crayon
you
collider.
just said delightful taste.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was reading the paragraph from the last one.
Okay, all right.
Bonbons.
I was going to say.
My eyes.
They've all been edible so
Yes,
far.
You did very well to get this. Okay, now, next one. This is, again, a UK, probably Northern England, up around Scotland.
Yeah, just off Orkney Islands.
Okay. 2 saltwater fish from the cod family, known for its mild flavour and firm white flesh. Typically ranges from 1 to 3 feet in length and is commonly found in the North Atlantic. This is the large collider?
The what large what collider?
No, the large collider.
Does it have to do with cod? The large cod?
Yeah.
Is that close?
It's a type of cod.
It's one of the ones I often get with chips. I'll get this with chips most of the time. If it's not cod, what do you go for?
I think it's a UK thing as well, John, I have to say. Like
Is
this
it?
one. Yeah, this
Okay.
isn't an Australian
This is
thing.
a bit of a curveball here. So we're going to go with had. It's got had in it.
And it's
It
got
hasn't got on at the end. Go on, Cristy. The large
haddock
collider, yes.
Wow.
Well done.
The
well
large
done.
haddock collider.
That's from reading English books when I was a kid.
Yeah,
What is
yeah.
a haddock? I don't even know
Yeah.
what a haddock is.
Delicious, yeah.
Well,
Smoked
just-
haddock
it's
is
a-
delightful.
It's a fish, is it?
It's a fish. It's a saltwater fish from the North Atlantic. Do you not get haddock in
Not
Australia?
specifically. You would get it like in the funky section of a deli. You get haddock.
Oh, I
like
see.
wrapped in like psh.
Oh, wow.
I just love that idea of a
Right.
large haddock collider of these like 2 fish like barreling towards each other in the ocean like at top speed, like a
Yeah, you
David
should see
Attenborough
it.
film.
Yeah. It's great.
Yeah. And what's produced? That's the key
Yeah.
question. What's produced at the end of that collision? Right, last one. This is me, isn't it, Si?
It is, yeah.
So what we've done here, this is in Switzerland, just outside, not far from CERN, actually, and they are taking 2 lots of strong, elastic, synthetic material made from a family of polymers known as polymides or polymides, commonly used in textiles, could be clothing, and plastics. It's known for its durability, resistance to air, and the ability to be moulded into various shapes and fibres. The Large Watt Collider, Cristy.
Can you wear them on your legs in the wartime? Oh, is it the large nylon collider?
Yes, yes. Very good.
Oh, I feel so
fantastic.
good right now.
So you should.
Yeah,
So you
That
should.
is, that's a
Straight to
respectable
the top
4
of-
out of 5, isn't
We're
it?
Yeah.
very close
4
to
out
the
of
top of
5.
our leadership board.
Oh, I don't know about haddock. I think you're being generous with haddock. That was,
We'll
but, you know,
pay it.
thank
Yeah,
you.
we'll pay it. Yeah, you're
Thank you.
welcome.
I'll take
We'll-
your generosity.
So there you go. Thank you for joining us in exploring the universe and the colliders around the world in our very own thought experiment called Kaleidoscope. Cristy, we're coming towards the sort of close of the podcast. We've got this section here, which is just where we try to distill lots of the learnings you've had over the years through your own creative process, but also maybe in the work that you do with organizations. First one is just the fact that you are the author of, I was going to say 15 books. I'm now
18.
going to say 18 books.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
Thank you.
We are curious here. Can you just elaborate a little bit more about that process then for writing and creating? And what would you suggest is a potential starting point for people wanting to establish their own creative practice? You mentioned earlier about rituals and things, which was really fascinating. But can you elaborate a little bit more about how it works for you?
Yeah. I think a lot of people have rituals, like they might light a candle before they start work each day, or they'll make a cup of tea or something before they start work each day. But I really have such a strange lifestyle. I'm always traveling, sometimes in hotels and airports. So I don't have that luxury of having a ritual for the creative practice. So I just create whenever I can in the corners and the gaps, and I find that works really well. But what you do have to do, I think, is to let go of this idea of that it's going to be good. Just don't expect that if you paint something that it's going to be good. If you draw something that it's going to be good. Don't expect if you cook something that it's going to be good. The secret of happiness is low expectations. So just get in there and muck around and throw words in a different order and throw paint because that's how things get created. And in business, everybody's doing the same thing. That's one of the things that happens with these AIs and large language models. They get really, really good at
Vanilla.
vanilla. At exist. They have all the data at their fingertips, at their digital fingertips, and they can spit that out in various orders. And it's so stripped of personality, isn't it? It's just, and so I'll do that. I'll prompts in and try and get ideas. And sometimes it's got great ideas, and sometimes it kind of erases my spark of an idea because it's all there on the page. I don't need to do anything. There's a perfectly good 70% good enough paragraph, right? And sometimes that's all you need. Sometimes 70% is good enough. Really
I
is.
like the idea of throwing, you said, throw stuff around. You said paint, and then you said words, and I just had that mental image. I hadn't considered it before, just throwing words like a Jackson Pollock on the canvas, but words rather than sort of splashes of paint everywhere. Lovely visual. But
That's what I do is make things out of words, right? Like it's just a bunch of letters and you put them in a different order. And I like to think about evolution as well because I am a scientist. And evolution is just genes being sploshed around, isn't it? Genes in different orders. And there's no they don't have a meeting and KPIs for how to recombine DNA. They just go, here's an egg, here's a sperm, smoosh, right? Let's do that 1,000,000 times and see what happens. And out of that 1,000,000 times, sometimes there's something really special that happens, and then that becomes the leader in the field.
All right. Well, you gave me a perfect segue to my next question. You're a leader in an organization. See what we did there. Okay. What would you say then? Like if you're trying to create this culture, understanding that we don't want to be good at what we do, but we don't want to be the same. We don't want to be vanilla. We want to be standing out. We want to be inspiring the people we work with to bring their, where do you start with this? Or what would you say? Or is that even the right question?
It's so hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's so hard. And it depends on the size of your organization as well about what you can do. But I do know that if you're running all the time, if you're running and running and running and running, then you don't have that space to play. And it does take time to play, but it doesn't take long. Have you ever watched Bluey?
Not a whole lot, only because my kids are a touch older than we sort of caught the arse end of Thomas the Tank Engine and some other people. So,
well, I recommend everybody watch Bluey because we often say, I'm too busy. And I say that a lot, I'm too busy. And then you watch, I can't remember, what's the dad's name? The dad dog.
Banjo.
The dad dog, yeah, Banjo. Look at you.
Yeah.
Look at you with your skills.
I have watched it, but I'm not like religiously watching it.
Yeah. He has to go to work. And the kids say, well, we want to play with you, Dad. And in the 6-minute episode, they can take you on a beautiful journey as he plays an imaginative game with his kids. And it took 5 minutes because they also have the intro and the outro. So you don't need long to be creative, but gosh, it makes a difference to your feel in your heart and your outlook and your just the energy that you bring into the day. But it's hard, isn't it? Because you can't structure it. You can't say, right, everybody be creative now. But I do think you need to have an opportunity to create something. And
is
if you can build that.
Like what you said, if you're committed, you'll just stick it in the corners and the gaps.
Yeah.
Like you said with your writing, is it just thinking maybe in those moments I could be on my phone because that's fun and interesting and people are doing weird stuff on memes and falling over. That's what gets me in for hours. But no, I'm going to do something interesting. Is that like maybe just think about how we might use our time a little bit better? Or
Yeah. You know that thought experiment with the marshmallow that they do with kids where they say, here's one marshmallow and we're going to walk out. If I come back and it's still there, you can have 2. It's like that. Like, I'm going to leave you alone with your phone and you can look at your phone while I'm gone. And I won't judge you because I won't know you've done it. But if I go out and come back in and you're still not on your phone, you're going to have 2 marshmallows because you will have done something different with that time. You would have had a thought that you wouldn't otherwise have had or found a piece that you otherwise wouldn't have wondered about. Like, we're so quick to pull that out and numb ourselves. And I think choosing not to and having the self-discipline not to is really a muscle we don't use very often.
I like the idea that I might have to get a massive bag of marshmallows in for our house and make a decision between either rotting the kids' brains or rotting their teeth.
It's a metaphor.
It's a good one, though. I do like that.
Yeah, so I think you've got to be committed to it. You've got to say, you know what, that creativity is something that we do honour and we do need in our workplace, and it will make us happier and it will make us more efficient. I love efficiency. It will make us better at our jobs. So let's value it and make space for it.
And maybe just to follow on to it, just again, because it is the not so serious business bit to this. What do you see as the biggest obstruction when you try to get this message embedded in organisations and leadership teams? Is it they just say, we're too busy? What is getting in the way for people? Is it they don't give permission to themselves?
I think there's a couple of things. There's busy, and then there's also how does creativity, that sounds a little bit woo-woo, how does creativity actually help my business? How does having people throw words around actually help my bottom line?
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's still a thing that you will find, that people still see it as some sort of almost ethereal thing over here. And they go, yeah, but what's that going to do for my business? I can't measure this on a spreadsheet or with a metrics. What does it do and why am I paying for it?
I think that's changing. It's really changing because things are so dire for adults right now that we are so serious all the time. And I think people do feel like they can see the value of having better mental health and they can see the value of being able to walk in someone else's shoes and understand them.
Which was then just Simon's going to go, oh, here he goes. Curiosity. Just tie into curiosity for us for a second. How does that fit into this? Is it that you see incuriosity as being an obstruction as well? Not just potentially I don't understand creativity, but people not wanting to be curious, to follow a particular way of thinking or a strand of thinking. How does curiosity play out in what you do? Or not, as the case may be, when you see it as being a problem?
I think most people want to be creative. I think most people want to be curious, right? Most people want to have fun, and most people want to have a joyful life, right? It's just we get in habits that discount that, or because it's not valued, it goes to the bottom of the list. I have a postcard next to my desk that says, "Is Mum in a better mood after she does yoga?" I don't do yoga. But that's a reminder, like, if you do the thing for you, if you invest in yourself and your own joy and your own creativity, you will become a better parent, a better employee, a better leader. And that's what we need.
Man, this has like been my therapy show, this one. I'm literally just writing notes for myself here. Okay. And John and I have spoken about this before. I've had a painting in my office, which I started working on just to literally do this, break my day up, do a little bit. It got a bit difficult. It was a bit complex. So it sort of became outside of that. It was a bit of a struggle, but I have to get back to it. But the whole thing around do something which will balance you out and your creativity, and you don't need to measure it in a spreadsheet, even though you could, but it's that ability to just bring more of yourself, or I don't know, I'm on a positive rant here, but there you go. Yeah.
Well, that's a really interesting one, because again, it's just got me thinking that we tie so much into productivity these days. Everything's geared. You mentioned efficiency, which is one word, obviously, that you'll have framed in an organisation. But the other one, both in organisations and personally, is all how to be more productive, how to get most out of your day, get up at 2 a.m. and start doing this, that and the other. And we've talked about this before. That gets in the way as well, doesn't it? That everything has to be in some way tied into being productive.
Yeah.
And we lose ourselves.
I love productivity. So I'm a real...
You got 18 books, so I'd say
man,
you can,
I love doing
4
stuff.
degrees.
Yeah. I might be asking the wrong person.
You've nailed productivity, yeah.
But if you want to be the best basketballer in the world, you can't just play basketball. There's an awesome book. I can't remember the author. It's called Rest. Have you read that? It's about how the very best people in their field, scientists and athletes and adventurers and leaders, rest, because you can't play basketball all day long. That's not how you become more efficient. That's how you collapse on the side of the court, and never want to play again.
We are going to go into a rapid fire round just to literally wrap up our show. So short answers if they can work, but we will see how we go. Now, John, fire away.
Well, it really is the segue off that last question and thought from you, Cristy, is what book should we be reading right now, aside to the 18 of your own, which might take me the first 6 months of the year, and then I'll get to something else. But what else would you recommend?
Something random, something you would not usually pick up, something completely strange. Maybe pick up 5 of them and then commit to reading for at least half an hour. So don't just read the first page and go, oh, this is not for me. Half an hour.
All right. And have you got a random suggestion that you've read and you've gone, oh, this was cool?
Oh, what am I reading at the moment? I read a lot of children's literature. Do you know why? Happy endings.
Ah, yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Happy endings. So even YA, which is a young adult, that's all about hope. So there's a lot of big issues that are covered in those books. There's a lot of really serious stuff that gets addressed, but they always end on hope. So if you ever want to bring more joy and hope into your world, reading for teenagers is excellent.
Now, we are building the Occupational Philosophers Manifesto. What one thing of all your learning should we add?
How to get a leech out of your eyeball.
Okay.
Because I don't think many people know that, and it can be a thing that could save a lot of time.
I think that is the best one we've ever had. Yeah.
Well,
I would agree. I did have it on my list, Cristy, but it was quite low down.
Well, I've had 3 separate people come up to me after a talk and say, you know what, I love what you said, but I had a leech in my eyeball. And so, I mean, to be clear, it's not in your eyeball because there's no blood in your eyeball. It's behind your eyeball. But I think a really important thing to keep in mind is that if you try and get that leech out by putting a live match on it or salt
behind your eyeball,
or your credit card, that's only going to do damage. So what you have to do is just chill, just relax, maybe get a pen and a pencil and write down how you're feeling, and then when the leech has eaten its fill, it will just drop off and And your eyeball will be totally fine. And you'll have that 20 minutes of thoughtful, like, meditation and...
This is full Bear Grylls combined with the Buddha.
I know, I was going to say, 20 minutes of meditation. No, you'd have 20 minutes of me screaming. There's a leech on my eyeball.
Oh, this bear eating my ankle. I'm just going to sit here and wait for it to finish. And hey.
My gosh. Fantastic.
What a great story.
3 separate
great.
people
And
have come up to me and offered that advice. So it must be true.
Do you seek that
You don't get
advice? Like, do you stand up and say, hey, how does someone come up and go, hey, if you get a leech in your eyeball, here's what you got to do? No one's ever said that to me.
So one of my books is set in the Queensland rainforest in Yungala National Park, and it's based on a hike that my family did that went terribly wrong. And so people love to share their leech stories. Do you have a leech story you want to share?
Okay, all right. So there's some precedence here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. It's not totally random. Yeah, again. Although I'm going to introduce it into my next conversation.
Actually,
do you want to know
if
how to
Terry
get a
rocks
leech
up,
off your eyeball?
Yeah.
Hey, Terry.
Yeah, definitely one for the dinner party.
You'd get on well with
Let's,
Eric Weiner, who said, did you know Hitler was a vegetarian? Yeah.
Okay, so there's a question. If you eat a leech, is that like cannibalism? How does that go?
Oh, we'll get the philosophy right to the end of the show.
Yeah. Is that...
Yeah, I think we'll save that for round 2. Now, John, we have to finish. Yeah.
Here we go. Final question here. Cristy, we're going to project ourselves into the far future now. And you're starting to slow down. You've had all the adventures. Perhaps, maybe there's more to come, but you've had all those adventures. You're just sort of, kicking back in the retirement home. It's day one. You're being led through to the lounge with all the other residents there. And as the nurse brings you through, all the other residents look up expectantly, and the nurse says, hey, everybody, here's Cristy. She's... How would you like to be introduced?
Also controversial. I don't want to. I think I'd rather go out with a bang than a whimper.
So she's here for a bang, not a whimper. Hey, hello, Viagra.
Yeah. It's a quote from T.S. Eliot. Yeah. Not with a bang, but a whimper.
Okay, we can run with that. Right,
that's
now.
an excellent.
But I'd rather go not with a whimper, but a bang.
Okay, yeah.
We got it. Let's just hope Terry's not there. If Terry's there, he's going to look up and go, oh, God, she's back.
Spider nose.
What do people say to that? What do they say for retirement home?
Oh, all sorts of things, yeah.
What would you say?
I'll say, watch out.
I'm getting out of here, losers.
Watch out. We're going to start dancing, yeah.
I quite
Free
like
drugs.
people who have dementia seem to be, well, it depends on the person, obviously, and it's very tragic and it's happening in my family at the moment, but there seems to be, a joy that comes from not having to be connected to reality, and you can just have anything you want. So this one lady who lives opposite my nana, she's always looking for her husband, and he's been dead for 20 years, but she's still waiting for him. And not in a bad way, in a joyful way. Like, she can't wait for him to come home. So I wouldn't mind that either.
That's a nice, poignant one to
it is. We've all just gone, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like it. Yeah.
We can keep that in.
So,
well, do you want to do the... Yeah, let's wrap
this
up
is
then,
important.
Yeah,
You've got something big coming up next. We always ask, what are you up to next? But you have something specific. 1 minute overview. What are you and Trudy Boatwright doing? You're off to Japan. What does that look like? Tell us.
Super duper cool opportunity. You know when you meet somebody and they are on your wavelength? Trudy Boatwright is a play expert and she's a theatre expert and she is a dynamic, amazing, creative person. And we just clicked instantly and we said, you know what the world needs? More of us.
Yeah.
Let's take this. Let's take this and bring this theatre, science, creativity, play thing and smoosh it together into a live show. And I say show because I feel it's got that entertainment, and entertainment's vital, right? If you're not having fun, you're not learning. So we created a show, and incredibly, we are going to be on the same stage that John Farnham and Kylie Minogue once graced. We'll be at World Expo in Japan. They, of course, Farnham and Kylie, they were in Brisbane. But yeah, we'll be
All right, for
taking our
those of
show.
you international guests don't know John Farnham, bit of an Aussie rock icon. Well, a lot of people wouldn't, I think, would they?
What?
Most people know
Come
Kylie
on,
Minogue.
everybody
so-
knows John Farnham.
Was
I reckon-
he the voice? Was he the
Yeah,
voice?
Yeah.
And he loves
yeah.
haddock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he loves haddock. So, so what are you going to do?
Who
there?
doesn't?
You
Who
gonna have
doesn't,
a,
Cristy?
You're going to have a daily show, or what happens? Like, what does that look like, or how do people engage with it?
It's a public show, and this is the cool thing. We thought it would be for the general public, but Japan has an aging population, and we've since heard that many of the people going to Expo are retired. They're elderly, and they want to have fun. I've lived in Japan for 3 years, 2 years as a teacher and 1 year as a patent translator, biotechnology patent translator. It's the world's least creative job in the whole entire world. Luckily, I got appendicitis and nearly died, so I came home. But in Japan, there's a real dichotomy between how people behave at work. They're very, very serious. And then when they party, holy moly, like that is a wild party. So these people are ready to party. They no longer care about what people think, or they care less about what people think, which is a joyful freedom. And they're coming to Expo just to have fun.
This sounds like the ideal residence in your retirement home.
Oh, yes.
Cristy. These are the ones who want to go with a bang, not a whimper.
Yes.
And this is your chance.
This is, yeah,
okay.
this is glorious.
Here we go, guys.
And we'll be doing some real science. So there will be actual explosions and maybe some whimpering if it doesn't work out. Yeah.
And so this is very, very cool. So maybe when you have returned, we can get you back on for a little in-betweener and talk about this show. I'm really curious around what this will be and what a cool opportunity. So before we go, where can people find you, connect with you, buy you virtual drinks? What are your socials, websites, all that type of stuff?
Fantastic. If you just Google Cristy Burne and make sure not to end up at crustybum.com, that's very important. Because you don't want to go there.
I'm biting everything I want to say, but I'm just going to leave it there. Okay. So go to Cristy Burne, and is your website cristyburne.com or
Yes,
something?
yes,
Or-
it's very important.
All right. Okay. Not to be confused.
CRISTYBURNE.
John, as always, we like to wrap up our chat at the end with just some of our highlights. And I'm trying to go through here and pin them down to one or two things. There's a lot in that conversation. My mind's sort of spinning a little bit. It's like someone did drop some mushrooms in the dinner party.
Yeah, I thought the dinner party was particularly funny.
Yeah.
What were some of your takeaways then? So much sprinkled through there, and I don't mind that it's quite random and some of these things are just going off in different places, but what did you catch?
Some bits that jumped out for me, and I think very pertinent at the moment where I find some parts of work a bit boring and draining, is life is a game. Like, yeah, that's how you show up, isn't it? And again, I don't want to make light of people's situations or where they are or what might be going on for them, but I'm sure for the majority of us, we can go, yeah, I can bring a little bit more joy into my day. And for me, I'm thinking, how can I gamify some of those things which I don't enjoy so much, which really everyone has to do them, but how can I gamify them? And also for me, jumped out, what's a nice start work ritual? Might be, but start the next part of this process. Like if it's going to commit time to X, what could it be? So rock up in the best space. And really love that idea of rest, which we all know. But again, man, I find myself getting so caught up in like hamster wheeling my day, then get to the end and don't feel like I've achieved anything. So yeah, that little piece around just going, yep, all right, slow down, change your space, do something different. Again, themes we've always heard before, but I love how they've sort of flowed through this episode. And I also love this idea of give yourself permission to play. You don't do one try, I'm done. Give yourself permission to play. Try something you know you're going to be shit at the first time, because isn't that everything? And I think it's a Kate Blanchett quote.
I've got a lot to choose
Yeah.
from. There's plenty of stuff that I'm shit at.
Yeah, but if you're going to like learn the guitar, you're not going to be great the first time. So that barrier of, I won't do this, I'm really good. Yeah, that was some of my stuff. What about your good self?
Yeah, I caught the permission to play. I did maybe mention it in the show as well, that play just seems to be the gateway. Fun and play seems to be the thing that actually is what's needed to lead you into you stroke people around you stroke organisation teams, whatever, being more curious, creative and imaginative. Play just seems to open things up. So it seems to unlock things. And so don't shy away from the fact that this stuff isn't just childish. It is important. If you want to give people permission to play, it is actually going to serve a greater good. And I think the other thing is remembering that higher purpose when you're in the drudgery of stuff, even though not everything's going to be fun. If you can keep that in mind, that is something that can get you through. You know, it's going to lead you to something which is important to you or the organisation or the team or whatever. The other one was about the creative process when we started talking about how she approaches, and she mentioned very early on, she goes, I find it in the corners and gaps. And I thought that was a lovely little turn of phrase, which reminds us that we can't always sit down and have this wonderful block of time where we go, we're not going to be disturbed. And we do sort of sit down and think we're going to turn out some masterpiece in 2 hours. She's finding it in the corners and gaps when she's sat in an airport or she's, traveling somewhere or hotels or whatever. That's really important. Don't lose sight of that. And again, because it's not so serious business podcast, organizations just, along with permission to play, space to play, to not just default to the lazy excuse of, we're too busy, and recognizing actually creativity has tremendous value in your business if you can give it the space to flourish.
Now, look, that's brought us to the end.
If you like what you've been listening to, hopefully you have, and you're joining us again, please do spread the word. Get it out, tell your friends, subscribe, obviously, to the podcast, encourage others to do so. Critically, leave a review. It's really nice to get somebody describing what it is they like about the show and the guest episodes in particular.
Great for the algorithms as well on podcast findability. Yeah.
We must serve the algorithm.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But anyway, yes, hopefully enthusiasm will carry you enough to leave a review. And check out the website, occupationalphilosophers.com. Please feel free to get in touch if there's guests that you think we should get on the show, chat to, or topics we should explore. Please do. But as ever, Simon, in the meantime, what do we encourage people to do? As you leave here, we want you to stay curious, make stuff, have fun, play more, and each and every day, which I think literally it was the theme of today's show, get out there and date life.